How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you a special Halloween trick. I am reviewing one of the worst comic book movies to have ever come out within the modern era, and it is entitled Morbius. It's Morbin time, everybody. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified or morbified of more videos like this one. If you want to support me even further, that Patreon link is in the description below. Go ahead and click it, and then you could, whatever you want to help me out with, I deeply appreciate it. This movie. So why am I reviewing this and not episodes 7 through 9 of Agatha All Alone for Halloween? Well, I actually watched 7 and 8 yesterday, finished 9 today on Halloween. Those will be coming out. I'll be doing them separately. I will not be smushing 8 and 9 together. The way I work, I do things slowly. I do things slowly now because what's the point of trying to keep up with the Joneses? And I also like to take my time, get my thoughts out, write some things down. This might be one of my fastest reviews. I'm trying to keep this between 15 and 20 minutes. And shout out to the homie Chris. Chris, you know who you are. Chris basically said, "Hey, you should watch Morbius." We that's one of my partners going to see a lot of Marvel movies, and I said, why not? I've been putting off watching this for a while. I still haven't seen Black Adam. I'm talking about in terms of bad movies. Haven't seen Black Adam, Morbin Web. I'm not going to see Craven. I just, after the last Sony comic book movie I watched was Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2. The last bad one I watched was, I want to say, Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. That movie didn't have to be bad because the first movie was solid. I digress. And no, I don't count Tom Holland's movies as Sony movies. And I barely want to count Into the Spider-Verse as those movies as Sony too, because that's Sony Animation. They know what they're doing. As long as what's the chick's name? It's not Amy Pascal. Is that Amy Pascal? I think that might be Amy Pascal. As long as she doesn't touch that animation, we good. So who's Morbius, y'all? It's Morbius, the living vampire. He is a comic book villain. I want to say his first appearance was in Amazing Spider-Man 101, 1971. Just like in the animated series that we watched in the 90s that did not age well. He appeared when Spider-Man had the 6 arms. He later on was rebranded in the 90s as an anti-hero, working with the Midnight Suns. And his powers. Oh, we're going to talk about his powers, y'all, because this movie is, Morbius and Sony has lost 2 battles. They went head to head. Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage versus the first Sonic movie. You lost. And Morbin Time versus Sonic 2. And you lost again. Sonic is 2 for 2. They better be glad that they didn't put Sonic 3 out right now during this Venom 3 movie, or it would probably lose as well. So, Jared Leto, bro. While you did look like Morbius, you look like Morb. Give him full credit. You look like Morb. You might as well just cut your losses, bro. I don't know what to tell you, man. Do some of the other movie projects. Go back to 30 Seconds from Mars to Mars with Mars at Mars. Just Mars bars. Go do a Mars bars movie. Stay away from these comic book movies, man, because they not doing you any favors. So pacing, it is horrible. As a matter of fact, since I am 4 minutes and 34 seconds in, I'm going to just go out and say it. Pacing is dog shit. When I mean, we start off the movie going to a cave where he's going to catch some vampire bats. More on those bats in a minute, y'all. We go where he's going to go with the bats. And then it goes 20 years past or something. 20 years ago, maybe. I'm a rubber bro, but the pacing, it goes from that, then we go forward again to where he got the Nobel Prize at 19. I feel like that's what they said in the movie. Now, here's interesting enough. In the comics, Michael Morbius, he has genius level intellect before he gets his Morbin powers. He got a Nobel Prize. Although in this movie, apparently he turned down a Nobel Prize because he said that he failed in his attempts. Like he made this this blue blood that is supposed to be synthetic blood. It's supposed to help people. Even a cop character that I'm gonna bring up, that cop character, like, you won't believe. You all know who plays this. Tyrese. This is old. He talks about he used it, saved his arm, even though somewhere in my research, my quick little research for this, because I'm still gonna research for y'all. Apparently, Tyrese was talking about he had like a metal arm, and I'm like, when? My bad. 25 years in the past in Greece. So was he like 10 or something? Like, he supposed to got the Nobel Prize at 19, right? But he looks 40. Hell, I'll be nice. I'm 36. He currently in this video 36. He looks close. He don't look that damn close, man. But he looks old as shit. He looks at least in somewhere in his late 30s. Whatever, man. That's weird. The pacing, when I mean pacing is off, we go from he got the bats, look at the past, now we're forward. The Dr. Martine Bancroft, she's upset with him. We're gonna talk about how weird that her being upset with him was. And we go from experiment on rats to now doing the human experiments to he morbed out. And then we get to a point where Milo gets it, but we don't see when he takes it, and he does it off screen, which, why? Who thought that was a good idea to be like, oh, it's a twist? Like, okay, I will admit, in a better movie, that twist would have been good. In a better movie, probably not. It makes no sense. Like, we should know what your villains are doing. It's just like it goes. We insert certain things that just don't. I'm not even talking about pacing at this point, but the pacing is just all over the place. It's bad. The music does not exist. I mean, if you watch the credits to see those two shitty after credit scenes with the synth waves and stuff, I mean, even the Michael Bay Turtles had a yellow Lamborghini. I call it Michelangelo, which that doesn't make any damn sense either. But I feel like that was also Sony. God. The special effects, they're actually okay-ish, right? When he morbs out, and when Milo, played by Matt Smith, morbs out, it looked good. The Morbin looked good. And when they're running fast and moving all around with the streaks of air, So, I play video games, you all. If those of you who do not know, I like video games. Big Capcom fan. One major character, not Alex Wesker, that's his sister, Albert Wesker. He moves so fast, it's as if he's teleporting, and there's a poof of smoke. What has been translated from that is the human eye can see only a limited amount of frames. I want to say that technically, since I like video games, I think you can tell the difference at 60 frames, but the frames that Wesker is moving is so fast that instead of it being a blur, which he can do a blur, but instead of being a blur, it's like a puff of smoke. It's as if he is teleporting. And I think this might be what they're going for here. Like, oh man, they're moving fast, but I don't know if it's supposed to be that or supposed to be stylized vampire stuff, because they're not technically vampires. They're technically living vampires. They're vampire-like beings. They're I Am Legend. They are not Legend of Dracula. But there are some, like, I the more about like when he's like he was frustrated looking at the screen, then or when he not even that when he drank the blood and he's trying to calm himself down because he got a little timer and he goes he morbs out a little bit. I like those parts were kind of cool with the quick little morb out when you see it, and the transition from Milo's morb, you know, talking to Nicholas, played by Jared Harris. We'll get to him in a second. That, you know, those parts look good. I like those parts. Those are okay. Even his echolocation vision, which is, you know, you're ripping off Daredevil, right? You're ripping off Daredevil at this point. But the echo vision, which he does not. Hold on, I'm gonna double check this. He don't have those kind of. He does not echolocate. No, he just has heightened senses. He does not echolocate. Cool. All right. So, but that looks cool. And then he can fly. Like the trailing for fly. Like they're trying to make it vampire, but he's not really a vampire. Okay. Let's talk about something. I'm gonna be peppering in stuff that doesn't make any sense. Like when Martine, I didn't know Martine could actually be a gender neutral name, by the way. I thought Martine was like the Spanish version of Martin, but okay. Martine, when he talks about he's doing an experiment fusing vampire bat blood with human blood, he's like, oh, I could do this and it could be good and it can fight the enzymes. You're talking about evolution. Well, no, I'm just, you know, saying we gotta fix it. And she's like, you could, but at what cost? And I'm like, that is so heavy-handed. It makes no sense. But at what cost? At the cost of fixing everybody who was crippled like me, right? I don't know if cripple's a bad term, but they say it in the movie. That makes no sense. The try hard password part, where he's like, how'd you figure out my password? You got to it before I could, dog. Cause I'm like, how would she know your password? Besides, you know, her being your obvious love interest and her actually being his love interest in the comics. How'd you know my password? Well, it's the first 6 numbers of pi in reverse. You should change your password. I get it. He's smart. Shut up. I get it. And we have a dated Cosmos joke when like Cosmo the magazine, when he's talking about, oh, you know, it being his condition is chic. You know, I read it in Cosmo. That failed so hard. Let's talk about Milo, bro. Played by Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor. He is literally the best thing about this movie. He is feeling it. He is enjoying this shit. When he morbs out, when he kills a bunch of cops, he's up here dancing. There's a part when there's a meme of him dancing in his room, and I swear before I saw this movie in its entirety, I thought that meme someone dubbed in that music with the pump da chomp dom bump dom. Bro, how was that allowed in a movie? I unironically like it because it's Matt Smith, and it was just like, screw it, let's just go all in on this shit. Okay, but let's talk about for a minute the whole Milo name. He calls him Milo as a kid because he's like, Mom, my name's Lucian. Like, yeah, but you know, he's like, Milo's the guy before me. Well, no, you know, there was a Milo before him, and I don't even remember the Milo before him. It's like, so you're pushing a trauma name on him and calling him Milo, to which everyone when they're adults call him Milo after that. Dr. Nicholas, Martine, Michael Morbius, all of you call him Milo. He's like, you gave me my name. He says it at the end of the movie. He's like, you gave me my name. Don't you remember? Like, fool, he called you a trauma name because 4 kids before you died. How was that? This is not Midoriya. Is her name Izuya? Midoriya from My Hero. This is not Midoriya going, I'm gonna take the name Deku because they call me Deku and it was degrading, but I'm gonna turn it into something else. Much like other words, right? Y'all know I'm getting that. Much like other things, you turn it around and stuff like that. But I don't get it. You're not taking Milo because he's supposed to be your friend. And then we got in Greece, there's kids that just hate crippled children and just beat the shit out of them. Is this supposed to make us be like, oh, this is why he's upset? Because Morbius goes, we're the original Spartans. We are the the few, they are the many. And this keeps getting repeated. And it's like, I don't get it if this tagline is supposed to be like emotional or not. But I liked how much he leaned into being an a-hole in this movie. He's just unapologetic. And part of me was kind of on his side. Kinda. Because there's a huge plot hole here. One of the big plot holes is, if you know that the synthetic blood doesn't do it for you, why is Milo super duper evil? I get that he enjoys being able to move and walk around, but why is he super duper evil? And then why is Morbius going, well, I just keep doing blue because I refuse to drink the human blood because I killed those other dudes and I drained them? Or, hold on here, because you work at Horizon Labs, also from the comics. You could just get a bunch of different blood, say that you're working on blood stuff, get a surplus, and sip on that. Because your timer was like, oh, I can last for 6 hours, but then I'm more about y'all. You could just keep using blood packs. I don't want to. It just reminds me. Shut up. That's stupid. If I was a vampire, if I got turned into a vampire and I was able to get a steady supply of donated blood, I would pick different places, because you don't want to just dry out a place because other people need it. Pick a place, be like, all right, this is how long I'm going to need to eat, and then ration it off, bro. Problem solved. Let's also talk about the dude's powers. Michael Morbius cannot control bats. On top of the echolocation, he cannot control bats. And these bats are in the same vein as what people think piranhas are. Because, y'all, I guarantee you, if you put your arm in a tank of piranhas, you might get nipped because they're trying to see if you're food, but they're not all going to skin you bare. Typically, when that happens, the bodies are dead and they're in a starvation state. Look it up for yourself. If I'm wrong, I'm not, because I know this. That's how it is. Well, apparently vampire bats in Costa Rica, when he cuts his hand and puts it up to the trap, we don't even see how the trap works because all these bats fly past him. And then the guys are like, oh, we're trying to get out of here. Oh, no. Give me my money now. Here's the knife. Oh, no. They don't just randomly just go up and attack people. Oh, vampire bats can take down a prey, take down something 10 times their size. Yeah, if they have disease. The way vampire bats work, that ain't how they work. By the way, Michael Morbius, Morbin out, doing a super screech while in the sewers after getting Dragon Ball Z ass whooped by Milo. What? And then the bats just come in, and they just lift him up, and just, I'm looking and I'm feeling with the bats, and then he uses Batmancy, and just, he is a bat bender. He is a bat bender. He is just bending the bats and using the bats to pin this dude down, to kill him with this thing that's deadly for bats, but it's fatal for humans. Who gives a shit about what it does to bats? You're not trying to stab a bat with it. There's no man bat in here. And then when he escapes from that sewer area after Milo Broly style smashed him into the ground, it's like Batman. And then magically, then Dr. Martine, she becomes a living vampire as well, like the comics. But to set up to be like, oh, we probably see her again. No, we're not, because you're not getting a sequel. You're not getting a sequel, bro. Let's talk about how you tried to make the mercs seem like, we got to make people not be like, oh, he's evil because he killed those people, those mercenaries, because mercs probably did something bad. Like, the cops in this movie act like cops in real life, like shitty ass cops in real life, where it's like, I don't care about, but dozen mercs, they probably did some bad things. And I'm just like, okay, keep talking. But that nurse, she got twins at home. And then Morbius goes, her name was, I didn't give a shit. I probably wrote it down, but I'm not searching. Her name was this. I worked with her for over 7 years. So why'd you do it? And it wasn't him. It was Milo. But we had no scene of Milo taking one of the two vials. There are missing things here where they threw shit out and just went, like he took one of the vials. He made two. I don't know why Morbius made two when he already took the shot in the spine, right? They made two vials to kill. It's like, I'm running out of time, so you got to use it on me. But I guess after she dies, he's like, no point. Might as well keep it and stay alive. Porque? What? Oh, okay. All right. Whatever. But the bad power, so stupid. Like this, I kept saying as I was writing things out, a freaking 2002 movie is doing this. This feels like a 2002 movie. This feels like a 2007 movie. It has the pacings of it. It has the makings of it. The comic book villain has the same powers as the main guy. That's still an issue in many comic books, movies, but a lot of it is, some of it's passable because we see how they get the powers. You see how how Stain, how he gets the Ironmonger. He doesn't just show up at the end of the movie or in the movie and crushes somebody with the Ironmonger and you think it's Iron Man in a giant suit. No, you see how it's made. You don't see Abomination all of a sudden a bombs out and he's here. No, and then Jared Harris being in this movie. That's Moriarty from the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock. He's in a bunch of other stuff, y'all. He's in a bunch of other stuff. But, as a matter of fact, I'll go to his filmography just in case you didn't watch those Sherlock movies, right? He was in Lost in Space in 1998 one. What was the other one? Not Dummy. I don't care about that. And he was in Resident Evil Apocalypse. If y'all I didn't watch that stuff. I didn't watch all those movies. I just remember him as being Moriarty, which was really, really, really good, right? He was in Poltergeist, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Dude's a great actor. So him and Matt Smith pushed this up. But, and then the CCTV part where, Milo's out after his dance scene and he's doing the little flirt thing with this girl because he gets Don Julio 1942. Nice product placement, by the way. Didn't think we would catch that. Okay. And then her boyfriend, we have no clue who this guy is. But it's like, her drinks are spoken for, buddy. And he got a friend like, hey man, don't do it. He just goes, I'm gonna kill all three of them at the end of the day. Drinks the blood and looks at the camera. Ha! Even Morbius destroyed all the cameras after he murdered the guys on the ship. Milo, come on, bro. And Tyrese being Simon Stroud. Simon Stroud in the comics, obviously he was white, but Simon Stroud in the comics had dealings with Man-Wolf, J. Jonah Jameson's son, J. Jonah Jameson III. He deals with Morbius. So a character has come in. But Tyrese signed a 3-movie deal, bro. You wouldn't get 3 movies. Milo, by the way, is a composite character. He is supposed to be Emil Nikos, who they gave Nicholas that name. He's also supposed to be a character, if you give me 1 second, named Loxus Crown, who is also a living vampire. So this is where I can go, I get it. That's fine. Cause this typically happens. A lot of Spider-Man villains are also, kind of reverse of Peter. Like, oh, accident, I have powers. Oh, accident, I have powers. Oh, but they couldn't even just take a character. He's even a composite of Morbius himself. It's gone too long. But let's talk about Michael Keaton, who openly said he didn't really know what he was filming for. He didn't really get it. He just got paid. Why would you think that the dimensional rip at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home would bring him there, Sony? That makes no sense. It sends everybody back. That means Adrian Toomes is technically from there already and didn't know it. And then how did he tell Morbius, let's meet in the desert? And then how did he get a Vulture suit? And you're trying to push a Sinister Six? What? Man, I hope Michael Keaton got paid really well for that. Because it also didn't make any sense for him to look in the mirror and touch his face like your face is the same, bro. You don't look any different. Oh man, sure the food's better here. Tee hee. Another nonsensical part. I am Venom. He does the I am Venom thing that we saw in the trailers and doesn't say I'm kidding. That it for a cheap pop. We have scenes that take place in other places in other Spider-Man movies because this is in New York, such as the Amazing Spider-Man crane scene where he jumped off of it. Morbius jumped off of it. The fight in the construction area in Spider-Man 3, a movie that is better than this, but it's still trash. Okay. The slowdown was 2007 slowdown. I don't even know what to say about that. We do see a copious amount of the Daily Bugle, and we get a shout out to Venom, where Rodriguez, who just has that triple blessed holy water, said, man, this is weirder than that thing in San Francisco. You know, Venom shouldn't really be in San Francisco. He should be in New York. But I'm not going to talk about that. This is not about Venom. This is about Morb. And he sure did Morb. My favorite part of that movie, and when he says, I'm morbing out, and proceeds to fight with Matt Smith when the TARDIS flew by. That is my favorite part of this movie. This movie gets a 2 out of 5. I know what you're saying. A 2? How is it not a 1? Matt Smith and Jared Harris gave this a full point. Legit. Matt Smith alone brought this up to that. This is a below average movie. This is a bad movie. This is a movie that I would show myself after watching the first and only Elektra movie and watching the first Daredevil movie back in 2004. That's how bad this is. This is a movie that I would show myself immediately after watching Venom Let There Be Carnage, which Craven's next and Craven's rated R. I mean, the blood splatter in here was okay when they did the thing on the camera, which kind of makes it feel like it's 2 different movies because they do it a lot in the beginning and don't do it at all towards the end. Cool. Yeah, this is a 2 out of 5. Happy Halloween, y'all. If you paid to watch this movie, sympathies to you. So, that's my thoughts on Morbius. It's Morbin time, everybody. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I do this for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't worry. The Agatha All Along reviews will be coming along. I got some thoughts and feelings on that. As with all things, if you want to help me out any further, my Patreon link's in the description below. Whatever you give, I appreciate it. Please be good, be blessed, be safe out there if you're out there trick-or-treating or if you're out there having parties. Be safe this weekend. Be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk, all right? And remember, there are people out there that care about you. Go ahead, reach out to somebody. You know, people rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. I promise you that. Sorry that you had to listen to me rant for 30 minutes. I couldn't help it. Also, you know how many things got dropped from this movie? Like the girl that they had to put in a coma. You know, he's spending time with her and that was dropped. Just whatever, y'all. I'll see y'all later. I'll see you next time. I got some catching up to do. I gotta go watch Ghostbusters. I gotta wash myself of this stink. Until next time, it's Morbin time.